Welcome to the deep dive. It's Thursday, September 11th, 2025, and the world isn't just turning, it's practically vibrating.
Hmm.
A mix of high-stakes politics, really gripping human stories, and significant economic shifts.
Definitely.
We've gathered quite a stack of sources for you today. Google News, Mint, India Today, Economic Times, UN News, BBC News, the big ones.
Right.
Our mission, as always, is to cut through the noise, get past the headlines, and really find out what's driving these events. What's truly important for you to know. Let's unpack this.
And that's exactly it. This isn't just a news roundup. It's more of an exploration.
Yeah.
We want to dive beneath the surface, look for those underlying currents, the hidden connections that often link things that seem totally separate.
Right.
Our goal is really to distill those key insights, those sort of aha moments, so you can walk away feeling not just informed, but actually understanding why these stories matter.
Without feeling overwhelmed.
Exactly. Informed, not overwhelmed.
Absolutely. And to kick us off, we're going to jump straight into deeply unsettling stories dominating headlines right here in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
These aren't just local incidents either. They've quickly become national conversations, revealing some deeper societal issues, I think.
They really have.
So first, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. He was, of course, the prominent conservative influencer, a staunch Trump ally.
Yes.
Tragically shot and killed recently on a Utah college campus. The FBI is leading a really intense investigation.
Right.
They've already released some pretty dramatic CCTV footage. And new photos, too.
Yeah, I saw those, showing a suspect fleeing across a rooftop.
Exactly. Making a jump, heading into a wooded area.
Yeah.
There is a substantial $100,000 reward out for information.
Wow.
And they've recovered a rifle in connection with the case.
Crucial piece of evidence.
Absolutely. And the political side of this, it's huge. Kirk was incredibly influential, especially with younger conservatives. Yeah. BBC News put it quite starkly, saying his death has plunged U.S. universities into deeper chaos, and it lays bare America's bloody and broken politics.
Strong words.
Yeah. And on a personal level, his wife, Erica Kirk, was just seen attending his last rites, a profound personal tragedy behind the headlines. Politically, Donald Trump reacted quickly, targeting radical left lunatics, linking them to the shooting.
Right, which comes at a time when there's that separate ongoing trial.
Exactly, the Ryan Ruth trial for the attempted assassination plot against Trump. And Trump himself, got a mixed reception, boos and cheers at that 9/11 anniversary Yankees game recently. Shows just how polarized things are.
Very much so.
And then we turn to Dallas. A truly gruesome incident there.
Yeah, this one's horrific.
A 50-year-old Indian origin man, Chandra Nagamalaya, was beheaded with a machete at a motel.
And tragically in front of his family.
Yes, in front of his wife and son. According to Google News in India Today, the whole thing apparently stemmed from an argument over a washing machine.
Unbelievable. Over a washing machine.
At the Downtown Suites Motel, where both the victim and the suspect worked. The suspect is 37-year-old Yordanis Cobos Martinez, described as Cuban origin with a violent past. He's been arrested.
Okay.
But here's where it gets complicated politically. India Today reported that U.S. officials stated the Biden administration had previously released Cobos Martinez.
Ah, right. That has a whole other layer.
It absolutely does.
Okay.
Adds a very charged layer of debate to an already awful story, fuels discussions about immigration policy, public safety.
Of course it does. Well, what's really striking here with both these cases isn't just the tragedy of the violence itself. It's how incredibly quickly these individual acts morph into national, even international talking points. They become these immediate lenses, right, through which we filter and sometimes strategically reframe these much broader political narratives.
Like with Kirk. Exactly. With the Kirk assassination, you see the public discourse fueled by real pain, real shock, getting channeled very quickly towards existing political agendas. It can potentially obscure more complex factors like mental health or just the deeply polarized nature of political talk itself. And similarly, in that Dallas case, that detail about the suspect's prior release, it instantly pulls the incident into the whole contentious national debate on immigration.
Right, simplifies it almost.
It risks simplifying a really complex issue down to one very emotionally charged data point. These events don't just happen in a vacuum. They interact with and they reshape our collective anxieties about safety, immigration, the tone of public life.
That's a really powerful observation, how these personal tragedies ignite these huge national debates, sometimes shifting the focus entirely.
Precisely.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it, of that volatile intersection between individual acts and well, public policy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's shift our gaze now eastward to India's domestic political scene and also its immediate neighborhood. And here we're seeing another interesting mix. Formal political transitions alongside some pretty significant grassroots movements. So in India itself, a major political milestone. C.P. Radhakrishnan was sworn in as the country's 15th vice president.
Yes, by President Murmu.
At Rashtrapati Bhavan. It was quite the ceremony. Notable, too, that former VP Jagdeep Dhankar was there, his first public appearance since resigning. Kind of underscores that continuity.
Right, the formal handover. Radhakrishnan won comfortably, as expected.
Yes. 452 votes, a widely anticipated outcome, solidifies his position. But beyond the formalities, India's domestic politics seems pretty lively right now. Some sharp disagreements, cultural flashpoints.
Revealing underlying sensitivities.
Definitely. Like the Bihar Congress posted an AI-generated video apparently mocking PM Modi's mother.
Oof, okay, that's controversial.
Predictably drew sharp criticism from the BJP, called it disrespectful, a new low.
I can imagine.
And separately, Congress leader Udit Raj suggested India could face a Nepal-like situation if not for the strength of its constitution.
Right, referencing the turmoil next door.
Exactly. And that remark, as you'd expect, triggered a swift backlash from the BJP. It just highlights the intense rivalries, and how sensitive things are around national stability.
Absolutely. These aren't just isolated spats. They're symptoms of a very charged political climate. Even AI videos and historical comparisons become battlegrounds.
And speaking of Nepal and that Nepal-like situation comment, the country is indeed experiencing what some are calling an Asian Spring.
Yeah, the reports are quite dramatic.
Widespread, youth-led, the sources are calling them Gen Z agitations, fueled by deep issues. Poverty, unemployment, corruption, misgovernance, the whole package. India Today described it as a volcanic eruption of mob fury, and apparently it caught the Modi government off guard.
That's significant if India was caught off guard.
It is. The situation's serious enough that they're actively discussing forming an interim government.
Really? Who's being considered?
Names like former Chief Justice Sushila Karki, Kathmandu Mayor Balendra Shah, who's quite popular, isn't he?
Yes, seen as an outsider.
And Coleman Gissing, he's the one credited with ending Nepal's power outages and notably India-educated.
Interesting mix. A search for credible leadership, clearly.
Desperately. And this turmoil is already having real regional effects. Nepal is rushing home from India because of the instability.
Right.
And Kathmandu was even dropped as a venue for the blind T20 Cricket World Cup for women. Small sign, but shows the disruption.
Yeah, practical consequences. If we really connect this to the bigger picture, it does raise that important question. Is this truly an Asian Spring, echoing the Arab Spring, like India Today suggested?
It's a compelling comparison.
It is. What's striking is how these youth-led movements, not just Nepal, but across South Asia, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Pakistan, they seem to signal this shared undercurrent of frustration.
What's the root cause, do you think?
Often a mix, isn't it?
Yeah.
Economic hardship, definitely. A deep disillusionment with the traditional political class, and just a powerful desire for more accountability, a bigger say in their own future.
And the Gen Z factor.
Hugely important. Their ability to mobilize, often through digital means, even without traditional levers of power. It's a significant force.
Right.
What's particularly fascinating, I think, is watching how India, as the regional power, navigates this. These aren't just local problems next door.
No, they have direct impacts.
Absolutely. On India's border security, migration flows, its whole foreign policy strategy in South Asia, that phrase, volcanic eruption, really captures the suddenness, the intensity that can challenge even established regional powers.
That's a crucial point, that ripple effect. It's never just a local story, is it? It quickly becomes regional, potentially global, especially for a power like India.
Right. The dominoes fall fast.
Okay, let's broaden the view even further now. International relations, the global economic pulse. Tensions certainly aren't easing there either. Geopolitically, we're seeing these heightened tensions in Eastern Europe. Reports of Russian drones incurring into Polish airspace.
Yeah, that's a serious escalation. Poland is NATO territory.
Exactly. More than just a border skirmish, it's a direct challenge to NATO's eastern flank.
And NATO's response?
Pretty robust. They're significantly strengthening defenses. Germany, the Netherlands, the Czech Republic are sending support. France has deployed Rafale jets to Poland.
So a clear signal.
Unmistakable. NATO views this very gravely, prepared to act. The UN Secretary General has expressed worry.
Understandably.
And importantly, India's External Affairs Minister Jaishankar spoke with his Polish counterpart, advocating for an early end to hostilities.
India playing that diplomatic role again.
Yeah, highlights the global anxiety, that delicate diplomatic dance to de-escalate without, backing down. Then, moving to the Middle East, the Israel-Hamas conflict continues its deeply troubling escalation. An Israeli airstrike in Doha, specifically targeting Hamas's political leadership. A top UN official called it an alarming escalation.
In Doha, that's outside Gaza. That is significant.
Yes, seen not just as a blow to peace efforts, but a violation of sovereignty, directly threatening those fragile ceasefire and hostage negotiations.
That makes talks incredibly difficult, if not impossible.
And further complicating things, Benjamin Netanyahu has unequivocally ruled out a Palestinian state.
He's been clear on that before, but reaffirming it now.
Right, and he's advanced the contentious E1 settlement project.
Ah, the E1 plan. That's always been seen as a major block to a two-state solution.
Exactly. It essentially cuts off East Jerusalem from the West Bank. His statement, "This place is ours," leaves very little room for doubt about his government's stance.
No ambiguity there at all. This combination of events, the Russian drones, the strike in Doha, Netanyahu's statements, it really shows just how volatile and interconnected global security is right now.
It really does.
Those drone incidents, they aren't just about Polish airspace, are they? They're a test of NATO's resolve, a challenge to the international order. India's diplomacy reflects that wider global concern about things spiraling. And the strike in Doha, it's a massive gamble. Could destabilize the whole region further, push a political solution even further away, maybe even draw others in.
A dangerous move.
Very. And in Netanyahu's stance on a Palestinian state in E1, it's effectively slamming doors shut. Doors many in the international community see as essential for any kind of long-term stability.
Right.
The insight here, I think, is how these conflicts, which seem separate, are actually threads in this larger tapestry. Each action triggers reactions that ripple across continents, affecting security, trade, energy markets, everything.
It's a deeply complex web. And speaking of global connections, U.S.-India relations are seeing some interesting dynamics, particularly around tariffs and energy.
Ah, yes, the Trump angle.
Right. Sergio Gore, a close Trump aide, potential envoy pick, he's openly reiterated Trump's desire for the G7 to push for higher tariffs on India and China. Why? Over their purchases of Russian oil.
Trump doubling down on that pressure point.
Gore said Trump made it crystal clear India must stop these purchases, which, signals a potential shift in economic pressure if Trump returns.
Definitely something India will be watching closely.
But despite these disagreements, Gore also affirmed the warm and strategically important U.S.-India relationship. Senator Marco Rubio echoed that.
So that familiar dynamic. Pressure on specific issues, but acknowledging the bigger strategic picture.
Exactly. It highlights that delicate balance, doesn't it? The U.S. wants to influence India's choices, especially regarding Russia, but at the same time, it needs India as a strategic partner, an economic counterweight in Asia.
It's pragmatic, navigating alignment and friction simultaneously.
Okay. Shifting quickly to India's economic snapshot. Still seeing a lot of dynamism there.
Yeah. What's happening?
Well, for example, Infosys announced a huge share buyback, or 18,000 crore.
Wow, that's substantial. Signals confidence.
It does. And JBM Auto surged after a big $100 million investment. These aren't just numbers, right? These buybacks, these investments, they're often seen as strong indicators. Corporate confidence, investor optimism.
Which can ripple through the broader economy.
Exactly, reflecting a positive outlook often. Both the Sensex and Nifty opened in the green today, so robust market activity.
Good signs.
There are also ongoing policy debates, of course, like around GST rate cuts. And that broader question Mint raised, should India micromanage retail price tags?
Ah, the perennial debate about government intervention versus free markets.
Right. Crucial debates reflecting different economic philosophies. They impact everything from consumer prices to business profits, and of course, gold prices are always a focus, a bit of a barometer.
Always. This snapshot of India's economy, especially when you view it alongside those U.S.-India tariff discussions, it raises an important question, doesn't it, about how global power dynamics are shifting, reforming in response to all these different pressures. Geopolitical clashes, economic policies, India is showing robust market activity, debating its own policies, all while major players like the U.S. are trying to influence its energy choices.
It's a balancing act.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's not just about trade figures. It's about energy security, geopolitical alliances, economic sovereignty.
Right.
The insight here is that as India asserts its economic strength and strategic autonomy, It has to constantly calibrate these relationships with traditional allies, emerging partners, navigating this complex landscape where, let's face it, economic decisions are always political.
They absolutely are.
These aren't just isolated economic reports. They're part of that larger narrative of India's rise, its evolving role in this multipolar world.
Wow. Okay. What an incredible deep dive we've had today. Just the sheer breadth of it all. From assassinations and beheadings sparking these profound societal debates to significant political inauguration, grassroots youth protests demanding change, all the way to these intricate geopolitical maneuvers and critical economic shifts.
That covers a lot of ground.
So what does this all truly mean for us? I mean, it undeniably paints a picture of a world in constant, rapid flux.
Absolutely.
A deeply complex, constantly evolving global landscape where really any local event can have global ramifications.
Indeed. It just underscores that relentless churn, doesn't it, of information, of events, and why it's so critical to understand not just what is happening.
But why?
Exactly. Why it matters, how it connects to the bigger picture. You start to see that seemingly disparate events often share these common threads,
Right.
like human experience, power struggles, the basic quest for stability, fundamental economic pressures. Knowledge is really most valuable when you understand it, when you can apply it. See those deeper connections, maybe anticipate the ripple effects.
Moving beyond the headline.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Grasping the underlying forces at play.
So as you navigate your own day, maybe consider how this constant flow of information from a specific campus shooting and its political echoes to regional upheavals demanding new leadership to those international trade disputes that could reshape alliances, how it all reflects our profoundly interconnected world. How do you choose to engage with this global conversation? And maybe what responsibility do we all share in discerning the signal from the noise and really understanding the profound implications of these unfolding stories?